Many thousands of years ago in your time frame, the divine feminine was existing in harmony with the divine masculine. This connection and union, however, was not so much within the physical realm as it was within the higher dimensional realms, the realms of which are the spaces for those souls to communicate their path before they choose to incarnate on earth. As we understood this, we had to also allow the free will to take place with all beings upon planet Earth. This meant that the suppression of the feminine, which was purposefully devised by those who could see its power of unification, was allowed to happen. As we move along the timeline to the current present moment that you are all perceiving on Earth, you will find that this divine connection to the higher realms of souls is beginning to present itself once more. For a lot of the physical female on planet Earth in this moment, there is a feeling of exhaustion, of tiredness, of lack of sleep, of lack of ability to feel rested after a night's sleep. This is because of the activity of the soul that is happening outside of the physical dimension of reality. Amongst those of you who are of the highest divine nature, so to speak, you are of the closest to mastery on planet Earth, or you are the closest to the mastery of duality on planet Earth, those of you will be feeling these effects the strongest. For those of you who are struggling to sleep, we suggest that you begin to not only nurture yourself, but also look to your higher dimensional selves for the answers that you are seeking. A lot of you will have been noticing that the divine masculine is fully embodying the divine feminine and therefore becoming a protector and a seer of this divine energy within those who are seeking to rise. In a lot of these cases, the divine feminine who is seeking to rise may not know that it is currently worthy to rise, and therefore the lessons are reflecting the self-empowerment and the self-reliance that are allowing that divine feminine to reconnect with who they truly were, not only in past lives as you see to understand them, but also in a higher dimensional sense when the perspective is adopted. This perspective is one where, as we have said, you begin to look not just from your human eyes, but also your higher dimensional eyes, and you see the path laid out in front of you. A lot of you may find that you have a physical divine masculine representative coming into your life, of which will allow you to, in a very real sense, activate your ultimate cosmic energy. This divine masculine representative is one of those beings who you will have walked with from a very long time ago, and therefore there is a feeling of knowing as though you automatically feel comfortable around these individuals. If you wish to understand the next path that you may indeed wish to take, we would like to bring you to one of James's current flows of teachings, which is understanding that the lesson and, or more appropriately, the study of duality is coming to an end. The study of duality of light and dark and masculine and feminine is beginning to come to an end. And those who have fully grasped the concept and fully understood the concept will then proceed to go on to the next stage of studies, which is in fact, as James has also mentioned, the finite nature of physical reality, not just in a third dimensional structure, but a fourth dimensional structure and a fifth dimensional structure as well. This is not to forget that every single dimensional structure is in fact important. Many of the individuals on Earth at the minute are seeking to, through lack of a better understanding, jump from one dimension to the other. This is, so to speak, inaccurate, only in the sense that you must understand the dimensional structures of each level to understand how to fully embody these dimensional structures in its entirety. And so therefore, moving back to this ending of the lessons of duality, a lot of divine feminine individuals, specifically physical divine feminine individuals, will be feeling an immense transmutation of energy and power. This is very important because for a lot of you there is a very powerful light that is beginning to shine through your energetic self, through the representation of your physical self, and therefore you are beginning to bring hope to those who need it the most. We would like to break down the word hope. By using the word hope, we simply mean that you present an image of which relates to a lot of divine physical women on your planet as they remember from past incarnations the power that they once held, and therefore they will bring that power and consciousness through the third, fourth, and fifth dimensional structures of the structure around physical reality. They will bring that energy and consciousness through these structures of dimensions and into their present physical body. This is also important because as your physical self is learning and studying, your energetic and your dimensional self is also doing the same thing. So when we very importantly state that you will be bringing that energy and that consciousness through those dimensional structures, it is not just you that is learning these very deep understandings around physical manifestation reality. There is not an appropriate word to use to describe this yet. So therefore, in understanding that you are bringing this energy through, it will mean that not only you are learning, but also your higher self as well. We would like to also bring to your attention that regardless of what is happening on the outside, the external of your physical reality, the actual internal soul lessons of which are the ultimate importance through your life are where we would suggest you put your focus. In doing so, with gratitude, with love, with compassion, with a humble heart, you will find that you are infinitely supported and that the support comes seemingly out of nowhere. To bring this to a more simple understanding for the physical feminine who is listening to this transmission, we wish to share with you to fully embody your divine feminine whilst also considering your divine masculine at the same time, but to fully embody your divine feminine so that you know that you will continuously and ultimately be nurtured as you were in an ancient past. And remember what we said, in an ancient past, so to speak, your physical feminine, your physical self, was not specifically nurtured from the physical realm, okay, by those around you, but actually from your higher self and the higher dimensional souls who are walking with you. Therefore, you perhaps will begin to grasp the concept and understand on a deeper level that you are not just walking with the physical beings around you, but also with the higher dimensional, the extra dimensional beings who are with you. Extra dimensional is how we would wish to proceed to explain this in the future. So therefore, this brings a deeper understanding of how peace, harmony and balance can be brought into the physical self as we understand that you are starting to feel this rumbling of your consciousness, this shaking of your consciousness through sleep, through your present waking day, as you begin to notice things that you perhaps did not notice before. Some of these things, for those of you who do not understand what we mean, we'd like to bring to your attention the word sovereignty, something of which James is fully embodying so that he may anchor in the support structure for the divine feminine, of course, with his case, not just in the physical female, but also in the physical male as well. To bring humor into this, his lesson is balancing his fire and his power and also his love and understanding and compassion, of which he has had all of both. However, now he's understanding how to balance them both on a higher dimensional level, which is actually quite an interesting journey for him himself. To bring in a deeper understanding for the physical female who is watching this, we wish to suggest that you begin to study the sovereignty and the ideas of respect and understanding and communication on your planet, because you will perhaps notice the pattern through your life that respect, communication and understanding were lacking very heavily within your experiences and your interactions with other people on planet Earth. Therefore, you were suppressed. Your ultimate energy and consciousness was not, in quotes, allowed, very important word, please absorb that, was not allowed to fully embody itself within yourself, and then therefore there was a lot of discord and pain and separation that had happened. This is also leading to the conclusion of the duality that has existed, because as the current physical feminine begins to understand its consciousness, its ability, its position, its power, so to speak, on a deeper level, you will find that the union within yourself actually causes a reflection of unity in your external world. Ironically, we'd also like to bring to your attention that the unity in your external world may actually become separation in your external world, because you will find that those who have abused you for an extremely vast amount of time and who have not allowed you to fully express yourself through some idea of a hierarchy of power within physical dimensional reality, they begin to separate from you. Some of them will wish to unify with you because they were just playing the role, but some of them will wish to separate from you so that you may continue the next chapter of your journey. And we would not like to suggest this may cause pain. However, we also want to extend our love to you, as we understand that pain may be a repercussion of this separation, because you perceive this love with an individual who actually never saw you as you have ultimately been for the longest time. This is because you have potentially no current examples of an individual who will honor you as you have been honored in an ancient past. This is important. You, in your divine feminine, as a physical representation of the divine feminine in an ancient past, were honored to the highest degree, regardless of the history books. The divine feminine was honored as, so to speak, the congruent leader of the unification of duality, and then therefore the understanding of the leader of the finite nature of the next chapter of studies on Earth also. We hope you are following. Please rewind if you wish to understand this on a deeper level, but it is simply about understanding that the divine feminine was never suppressed until the darkness, so to speak, was allowed to present itself in physical dimensional reality. The divine feminine actually in itself was the catalyst for understanding all of the lessons of both facets of studies, remember, third dimensional duality, third, fourth, fifth dimensional finite studies of manifestation of reality or reality manifestation. And so therefore was regarded to a very large degree as the most important energy within all beings. Remember, this is not a hierarchy of physical dimensional beings. This is a understanding of the tools, so to speak, that you would use when it comes to understanding these things on a deeper level. However, it was agreed many thousands of years ago between certain beings outside of physical reality that, as we have mentioned, free will would have always been honored so that the complete understanding of duality could happen. We would like to pause there so you absorb as what we have just said. The free will of all beings was ultimately allowed to happen through the duality of light and dark and masculine and feminine, so that it could be understood on all of its dimensional facets, or else you'd have been playing this game for the next 250 perceived 1,000 years instead of the 50, 75,000 years that you have played through this game. So it is correct, so to speak, that the human earthly experience is an extremely difficult one because of the length of time that the extreme of duality has allowed itself to play itself out, that the extreme of duality has been allowed to play out. So therefore now there is this feeling, so to speak, of exhaustion or tiredness because of the amount of energy and consciousness that is beginning to channel back through the dimensional beings who have been at the heights of their power in an ancient past. To bring this to a simplified understanding, those of you who are feeling the energy now on the highest degrees are those of you who are already at the highest levels of consciousness in the ancient past. So, proceed accordingly. Understand or continue to understand yourself on a deeper level, and understand predominantly that you are necessary. We are going to end this here as the connection is wavering. We hope that this helped you. We hope this brought some clarity. Our deepest love to you. And that is it. So for those of you who are watching the end of that, the goodbye was myself, because as you noticed I got pulled right out of it. I have no idea. My earthly self came forwards, and so therefore I couldn't try to carry on what was being shared. I hope that helped, and I hope that you found it interesting. I will end up watching this back myself at some point soon. My deepest love to you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.